I'm Hardly Plushaw. This is Active Radio, and this is Mackenzie Lee Clement. One of the things I'm most proud of in the 4.5 years that this program has been on the air is that we've had the great opportunity to introduce people who are up-and-coming talents, and that's certainly the case today. Mackenzie, you and I met a few months ago at the reunion of Robin Lane and the Chartbusters at the Burr in Somerville, and of course, that was a big musical event anyway, and it turned out to be a very fateful one because, unfortunately, tragically, one of the members of that band, Asa Brebner, passed away just a couple of days later, and it was really a terrible thing. And I went to the celebration of his life at the Regent Theater in Arlington a couple of weeks back, and it was very sad, but it was also very inspirational to see the whole Boston music community come together like that. But I saw you there in the audience, yes. And my first thought was, what's Joni Mitchell doing here? No. But then we got to talk, and I realized you too were a musician of prominence. And immediately I thought, well, I've got this radio show, and I'd like to turn it over every once in a while to people who are talented and people who should be well known and better known as far as their talents. And here we are. So tell me, Mackenzie, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your musical talent, your musical orientation. We've already heard your voice and your keyboard capabilities and your songwriting capabilities, but fill us in. Where did you come from originally?
All right, so I'm from Woburn, Massachusetts. I'm a local singer-songwriter, pianist player. I'm 17. I've been doing music forever, basically since I can remember.
I think we have a little problem here that we're going to have to see if we can address here. Little problem with the microphone.
Yeah.
Maybe we can use a different microphone that hopefully will be. See, just let our audience members know we are in the last days of the old studio here at WCAB, and let's see if we can speak, Mackenzie.
Hello.
You're coming through loud and clear.
All right, cool.
Excellent. Okay, so let's take it from the top. Where do you come from, as it were?
All right, so I'm from Woburn, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a local singer-songwriter piano player. I'm 17. I've been doing this my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I started taking lessons, singing lessons, when I was about 6, and I started taking piano around 8. And ever since then, I've just been practicing, performing, doing gigs here and there, and just kind of growing as a musician.
Well, I find it hard to believe you're 17 years old because you sound like you have a sophistication and a style far beyond that. Tell me, were you one of these so-called child prodigies, I guess you could say?
I'm not sure if I would say child prodigy. I kind of think it's just like a lot of experience with performing and working with lots of different artists and doing a lot of lessons and spending a lot of time figuring out who I am as a musician and like the type of styles I like and the way I manipulate my voice, and I do technical piano that kind of like just developed into who I am right now.
What were your first performances like? Do you remember?
My first performances. Okay, I'm trying to think. The first performance I had, performance in quotations, it was my cousin's Sweet 16. I was like 6, and I got up in front of my entire family in this big barn and sang Pat Benatar, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. And I don't know, I don't think I was nervous then, but I would think my first gig, my first actual performance, was at the Real School of Music, where I take lessons. And I did this really cool version of Hit Me With Your Best Shot. It was the same song.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know, I was a little bit nervous. I definitely think my nerves were definitely still in me, but now not so much.
So, what school system did you attend? Did you attend the public schools in Woburn?
Yeah, I go to Woburn High. I went to the
you're still
College.
there?
Yeah.
Wow.
One more year.
What were the? Did you take part in, partake in the music program at the in the public schools, or did they even have one?
Okay, so when I was in elementary school, they didn't really have any like specialty music stuff like that. But when I moved into middle school, they had chorus. So I remember in 8th grade, I joined chorus, and then
yes.
every year they would have talent shows. So every year since I was in 7th grade, I've been doing school talent shows and just kind of singing for my whole school.
Excellent. So as you developed in terms of your music knowledge and your musical talent, I take it you went beyond the Woburn public schools. You were beginning to well, you can explain it best in terms of you mentioned lessons. What kinds of teachers did you have?
All right, so ever since when I started taking vocal lessons, I went to the Real School of Music, and I took lessons there for about 9 years for vocals.
Yes.
And then I took piano for a little while. I stopped. I started learning on my own, but then there was a program for Berkeley summer programs. I was already playing piano, but it wasn't very technical. It was just kind of like me playing around the piano, trying to figure it out myself. But then when I started going to Berkeley and I took technical classes this past summer, it like completely broadened my horizons and like just changed the whole perspective that I have on the piano and all of that. So definitely music lessons at the Real School and Berkeley summer programs.
So you were going to the Berkeley School of Music, which is one of the nation's greatest musical educational institutions, while you were still in high school.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's one of my favorite just places to be, favorite place to perform, and just learn as a musician. Did
you have any trouble getting in? Did they tell you were too young, or?
No, for the programs that I was doing, I fit the same age requirements, and I did auditions and was luckily given a couple scholarships, so it was super awesome to be part of those programs. Yeah.
So, educationally, if that's the word, where do you stand now? Are you graduating from high school this year?
I'm going to be a senior this upcoming fall, so one more year of high school, and then I hope to go to Berkeley. It'll be amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, I already said by the time you get there, you probably already have earned your degree. So many of their programs, it's almost like, they can, enroll you and give you your diploma on the same day.
Great.
So you're still in high school, but you're already doing a lot of very professional things. Are you at the point now where you're doing actual paying gigs and things like that?
Yes. So I've been doing a lot of stuff lately. I've been doing a lot of performances. I'm actually the 2019 Kiwanis Star, which is super
Great.
awesome. That was such an awesome opportunity. I do a lot of paying gigs for different events. I recently did a paying gig for Child Foster. They had a performance for that. That was a really awesome opportunity as well. I do a lot of either restaurant things or people want gigs for their weddings or just stuff like that. I'll do a whole bunch of that.
Oh wow! So you're not even. You got one more year of high school left, and already you're a professional performer. Tell me, as you've been learning your craft as a singer and as a keyboard artist, what have been some of the influences that have come into play? Because I'm just hearing your first number, and we'll be hearing, of course, several more numbers for our days through today. I can hear jazz. I can hear a little bit of classical, a little bit of folk. What was the favorite music that you were into as you were developing your own musical skills?
All right. So first of all, when I was really young, I would sing to Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar was like my first strong female vocal influence, and I just thought she was so awesome. I would sit in the car with my parents, we would drive around, I would listen to her songs, I would sing along.
Oh, wow.
Definitely too, like Robin Lane, from when I met her when I was really young, because I did Robin Lane's Songbirds. So we wrote a song together. It was like, there's a light shining, something like that. So we wrote a song together, and we performed it. It was so awesome just to even be influenced by her, and like to do stuff, and just a bunch of different types of music. The Beatles, I grew up on the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and the jazz. I'm not sure. My parents told me when I was little they would play saxophone to get me to go to sleep. They would have the music playing, but yeah. So those are some inspirations.
Great. But as we heard on the opening number, you seem to be developing already in the process of developing your own style, whatever that style might be.
I have a little spiel. It's kind of a little bit funny, but
Go right ahead.
Okay, so
this is a talk show.
All right, so I would say, my inspiration's a little bit of like Benny and the Jets.
Oh yes.
And then a little bit of anybody. A little bit of Freddie Mercury. And a little bit of like, she talks to angels, they call her by her name. A little bit of Chris Robinson. You just throw that all in a pot, mix it together, put it in the oven, cook it up, and that's me.
Excellent. Looks like we're going to go to our break now, but when we come back, I trust you have some more numbers.
Yes, a whole bunch of originals for you guys to hear.
Excellent. Oh, I can't wait. So please stay with us with our guest, our very talented and up-and-coming guest. Remember, folks, you heard about her here first. Mackenzie Lee Clement here on Active Radio. I'm Hartley Pleshaw. This is WCAP, where everybody gets it. We'll be right back.
All good.
Great. So I think when we come back, again, I'm sorry about the headset situation, but I'll cue you, and we'll come back the same way we came in. I'll just point to you,
okay.
And you can start. How's that?
All right. Yep. Sounds good. Here, let me just readjust this
So you could tell about your fortunate time meeting with Cara and Bonnie. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Going, this Monday, I'm doing a songwriting program, so I want to talk about that.
Oh yes, by all means. Everything okay in your end? Good.
Let's see. What do you think?
What do you think? You're the singer.